Hello, Woman Unleash family. I'm so excited about this message. Okay, so first, I know you guys are going to be listening to this and you are not used to the way I'm going to be speaking here, be it the accent or the pronunciation. Yes, because there is a transition. Yes, and it's going to be amazing. First, yes, the message for today is transition. Yes, hence you can know why the pronunciation and the accent and everything is gonna come how it is. Anyways, so sometimes last year I told myself that I was going to be taking classes on how I pronounce words and how I want to be speaking. Yes. Years back, before last year, I've had friends and everyone around me complaining of how, or make mockery. They don't complain, they make mockery of how I pronounce words. And it got to me, my self-esteem. I don't talk where I see big, rich kids. I do not. Because I feel like my local dialect was too obvious in whatever I pronounce. It was a tug of war within my spirit. So then I took up classes on how to pronounce words, and I told my tutor then that I want words with accent. He told me the most important thing is how to pronounce the words, which I'm still learning. Every time I wanted to speak like how I've been taught, I get discouraged. So one time I told myself I'm going to speak like that, and I do not care of what anybody says, because even when I speak the way I used to speak, they make mockery. They correct me, but with mockery, with jest and all that. So I told myself, what would be the worst? So I'm going to speak like that in front of my friends. So I met with my friends and I started speaking. Even if I'm not using accent to pronounce words, it's going to be obvious that someone will pronounce. Okay, let me give you this example. I told someone who I dated before that I stay in River Valley Estate. River Valley. It's so funny. Anytime I see how he corrected me that day, I was always pained, because it was like, what's that? How did you pronounce that word? River Valley. That it is River Valley, So someone who is used to pronouncing River Valley is not pronouncing River Valley. Whether with accent or not, be it with accent or not, it's going to be obvious that there is a change and there's transition in how this girl speaks. So I met with my friends, they were gisting, and there I started using what my tutor had taught me, to pronounce words. And they were still making mockery and they even warned me that if I know I'm not going to speak like them or come down to their level, then we're not in this together. And I'm like, what? What exactly do you guys want? But I thought to myself that it was not about them. When I pick up that class, a few months later, a very popular radio station called me that they wanted to have a podcasting and all. So I told my tutor that thank you so much for at least making me unlearn some things and learn some things. When I got to hear the topic of the podcast and all, I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I'll be able to pronounce something correctly without my local dialect so obvious in it. And it went very well, and I was proud of myself for the very, very first time. That is language. Now, we're talking about transitioning in real life. Real life transition. Many people would run or step back away from you because you're transiting. But you have to let them understand that, I'm sorry, it's not about you. It's about me. If they complain too much that, oh, so you're trying to be saint or what have you, it's not about you, my girl. Like, I'm not even qualified to be where you are at, but I've just moved ahead of that place. So many people are out there, girls, my fam, my Woman Unleashed family. See, let me tell you a life story. My X account, which is Twitter account, the X app, yes, I have over 10,000 followers. I used to post a lot. Is it club? Is it parties? Is it, name it? I post a lot. And when I had encounter with God and he told me this is the movement is giving to me and all, I went back to that same page to post everything about Woman Unleashed. Is either you leave it or you take it. Is either you transit with me, excuse me, is either you transit with me or you step back. So a lot happens when you're transiting. A lot happens. You're thinking that how can I move forward? How can I be a better version of myself? Girl, you can be a better version of yourself. Understand the fact that people will bat you. Even right now in this record, there might be a lot of people that will come and say, oh, what's she saying? How is she saying it? But, it was so bad that, I told you, let me go back to my story quick. I told you that my friends were still making mockery and still saying, no, if I can't speak the way we used to speak, then that's it. It was so bad that the hunger died. But later, I started speaking to myself on the road that it has to get better. I cannot keep pronouncing words like this. Let us understand that, okay, if I want to speak my local dialect, then let me focus on my local dialect. But if I want to speak a foreign language, that means it's a language we borrowed, then let us pronounce it correctly. So sometimes give excuse for people that pronounce words or that transit when they travel and all that, because they might have been mocked about on because of this, because of our local dialect showing in the language and all. You understand? So I don't know. Just give excuse for people when they're transiting, and if you know you can't transit with them, you step back. So don't feel any kind of way when you're trying to transit and you lose friends. It's normal. You lose people around you. I had some people that used to check my Twitter page back to back, and they stopped because I'm posting something that is related to Christ. That's your business. I don't need man's validation. I need God's validation. As far it is God that is giving me this direction and this movement, and I got his back, then I do not care about who posts, who share, who unfollows. I only care about the people that are moving with me, because somebody out there needs to be free, and they need it so bad that you don't have to look at fame or look at other people's validation for you to fulfill this purpose and to make somebody out there smile. So that book you want to write, that movie you want to act, that purpose God has called you for, you are in transition and somebody out there is angry or is not flowing with you. Please focus on God. All gaze on Jesus. Focus on him, and you'll be fine. They'll be all right. Do your thing. I told myself before I picked my phone to record this that do your thing, do you, baby, and it's going to get better. And I will speak the way I want to. I will speak, and to be perfect, the way I love to hear myself. It's about me, not about anybody. So do that thing. Do that thing that God has been prompting you to do. It is a transition, so it's normal. You'll go through fire. When people are pregnant, you see their body changes. A lot of things happen to them. That baby keeps growing till 9 months, from day 1 to 9. Transition take place.